In 1996, we had a serious flood event in the Lapwai Creek watershed and other regional streams. It impacted cities like the city of Cul-de-sac, where there's a dike. The stream came over the dike, actually flooded some structures in the city of Cul-de-sac, and we actually lost several structures in that time. One of the bigger issues during this flood event is that the flood actually scoured the streambank channel, causes some serious issues. We also know that in some of these streams there are steelhead and coho salmon because of the pit take program that is in place. We're at the new Mission Creek Bridge site. The old bridge was constructed in the early 1950s. At that same time, they moved the stream channel. The original channel came from about where the yellow hay barn is up there. Ever since that time when the bridge was moved, anytime there was a high water flow event, it would build up debris underneath of the bridge.
Several years ago, we saw a need to replace this bridge at Mission Creek. We, for years, have had issues with the springtime with debris filling up under the bridge, and our crews would come in the spring, late in the summer, and we would remove that debris.
The old bridge was just a choke point. That's all you could call it, a choke point. Every time there was runoff, the gravel would always stop and it would back up underneath the bridge, and it needed to be cleaned. It was costing the county, and we have numerous types of bridges like this, numerous dollars every time to come clean this out.
Because we absolutely had no freeboard. There was any given time in the spring runoff, we would have water actually hitting the bridge. It was that little bit of clearance in there.
This here is Mission Creek. It's a tributary to Lapwai Creek, and this drainage supports both coho, salmon, and also steelhead. Both of these fish are anadromous fish. Of course, they come up here, they spawn here in these small tribs. They return to the ocean to mature as adults. Culverts and bridges oftentimes are barriers to anadromous fish. In this particular instance, we had a bridge before that was too narrow, and it did a number of things. It created a velocity barrier that was a deterrent, but not a complete barrier to fish on upstream movement. And then during the drier times of the year, that narrowing caused gravel to build up, which became a very shallow barrier that dried up in the drier times of the year. So we've lost pools in this and many other streams where people have straightened the streams, where we've produced levees in order to other flood control things, and also remove riparian vegetation.
The Soil and Water Conservation District had been working with us for years to try to resolve the issue with the buildup under the bridge. We had worked several times on projects, building some weirs upstream and placing riprap to try to divert the channel, and we just were not successful in those efforts.
Passage barriers are fairly easy to fix with some very simple engineering criteria. The solution is to just get the proper design of either the culvert or bridge.
We worked very diligently with our Soil and Water Conservation District, two local landowners, Harold Zinner and the Lays Estate. Lays Estate being downstream, Harold Zinner being upstream.
And so we purchased a pre-manufactured steel bridge. It came to the site in 3 pieces, and we had a 40-foot bridge originally. We replaced it with an 80-foot bridge, and we raised the new bridge approximately 5 feet from the existing bridge that was in place. Between our crews, some rented equipment, and some engineers that we brought on board for the project, and then some other contractors that had the equipment, we were able to get the project done.
In order to get salmon and steelhead recovered, we have to kind of work watershed by watershed, and each of these things produces large numbers of fish. And both Mission Creek and Lapwai Creek in particular really have high densities of both steelhead and coho.
The one year there was several trees that the water actually came to, and then it would back up and go under the bridge. It was so impacted because of the gravel. Now, as you can see, we have plenty of freeboard. which is what we want. The bridge deck is higher, and downstream we have mitigated the damage to the property owner below.
So now that the new bridge has been constructed, some of the benefits to the public are going to be, it's a bigger bridge, it's a wider bridge, it's a lot safer, but now we've eliminated a fish barrier.
This bridge is very vital to this part of the county as far as farming and that type of activity.
So I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Soil and Water Conservation crew who helped write the grant, got all the data, and went down to Boise and helped assist in preparing the Idaho Department of Water Resources and the Snake River Basin Adjudication Group how vital this project was for fish passage and the choke point here for the county, having all the time having to work here.